this is Friday, and I thought the market was probably pretty decent for trading today. Sometimes I like to skip Fridays just because it's really slow and market doesn't really go anywhere. But as you can see, we're kind of on this up leg of the trend that it's been on. You can see the 4-hour chart. It zoomed in pretty far here, but the kind of on the lower end of the channel area. So I feel like there's pretty decent reason to believe that it is going to continue to go up. And once it makes that decision, I think it'll be pretty fast. However, this morning, it's kind of interesting that it's kind of stuck on a resistance level right here, which is really close to where this yellow line is. It's fluctuated around that yellow line since yesterday, and it's been struggling to get through it. All right, so this little piece right here is this little bit right here. And you can kind of see it's been following the bottom of the channel that I have drawn and kind of working its way up. So it's possible that we will be jogging up to that 38.2% Fibonacci line, which is right here. It's also possible that in the immediate future here, it might drop. And the MACD looks like it could well drop. So the first trade that I made here, I got into a short, and that was my thinking. It looked like it had hit resistance. This is lower than this right here, and it's going to drop. I didn't think it was going to drop super far. I put in my limit order right there on the orange SMA, which is, that's a good trade. That's not bad. I could definitely see it dropping down to that, even if it might go up in the long term for the rest of the day. And you can also see the trend is a little bit tricky right now because, like I just said this morning, the 4-hour chart, I think it's going up. But at the moment, I think, you look on the shorter term chart, it looks like it's going down. So I think this is why you can get by with doing both shorts and longs because it's not really a definite trend right now. So anyway, I lowered my stop as it started to drop, and I put it just a little bit too far and kind of got stopped out sooner than I had anticipated and wanted, because just shortly thereafter it dropped down to where my limit order was. I didn't want to put all that risk on the table, I guess. I wanted to lock in my profits. So I only made $62 on the first trade. And then it started to look like maybe it had hit that and was acting as a support, and I could definitely see it going up and hitting that blue line again, which would be a really good trade. So the evidence for that I'm seeing is that the MACD is, it's high here, but I think it might actually be gaining momentum. You can see it better on the RSI here. It's just ever so slightly tipping up. You can see it really good on the 30-minute chart, which is a little bit dangerous to trade by because that's more long-term. But it is holding its support right there. So, and this is still heading up, even though it's maybe losing momentum. It's still in the upper end of things. It's still going up. So it probably isn't going to go up super far yet, but probably up to that point at any rate. So it got into a long, and it kind of fluctuated through that. Didn't really want to go up yet. It's before the opening bell, so it's moving really slow. And then it jogged down real quick and stopped me out. I kept lowering my stop, and I finally just left it right below the bottoms of these wicks. Because I figured, well, it could definitely drop down to that point. And when this started to form right here, unfortunately I can't see it right there, but you can see it on the 30-minute chart. It's like, ooh, there's 2 red candles there. I don't know. That's possible that it might be dropping. It kind of changed its mind again and had a big jog upward right here, big candle. So, unfortunately, I think I could have lowered the stop a little bit further and probably been okay, but I didn't. I got stopped out, so I'm at a loss of 137 now. Not bad, but it's unfortunate. All right, and this is 45 seconds after the opening bell, and it immediately broke through that resistance level. So now my mindset is like, okay, we have a definite push upwards. There's a lot more bulls than bears right now. And I do think that the This little dip that we're seeing in the blue SMA, I think is very temporary. I do think it's probably going up at this point. We've kind of held that resistance level there, and I want to be in a long. So just when is the best opportunity to get into that long? I put in my order with my brackets already in place, and I put it down here just above the blue SMA because I figured it probably dropped down to that point and get me in, and it did. It went a little bit further, and it is really moving fast right now. It's big jogs upwards and downwards, and I did kind of a risky thing, but because I was pretty certain that it was going up, I went ahead and canceled my stop because it was moving so fast. I figured the likelihood of it actually getting out up here is pretty good. It just might stop me out if I had that stop in place. So it went up, and I went and got out a little bit sooner than that order. Let me go back one more time. So I had my order up here, but when it went up, I went ahead and got out. So I made some money on that one. I've lost $46.90 when you take out the commissions. So just trying to be cautious, make good trades. Okay, this is my fourth trade, and I just decided to hop on in because it didn't seem to want to drop any further. Hopped on into a long, and unfortunately it is, it's maybe not the best place to get into a long. I was worried because it was going upwards so quickly that it was going to continue to go upward, and I would miss out and it wouldn't really drop. The MACD doesn't look real good for going up further, but that's not really what I'm seeing play out on the candles. And you look at the longer term charts here, it's definitely going up. So I figured even if it drops a little bit, I'll be okay. I know that it's going up. So I got into a long. It had a nice little dip here, and then it came right back up again. And then it went up to my stop and got right out. So now I'm in the green. I've made 195, and I've done 4 trades. So got to take out the commissions there. All right. So now this is the hardest decision to make, is when to stop, because that's decent. I'm happy with that. It's 9:40. I've had only 4 trades, and should I keep trading or not? And you can see it blew past that and then started to drop a little bit. And now we've surpassed the last peak back here that we'd formed. And so the likelihood of it getting up to the top of that channel at some point today is much, much higher. And also we've got another Fibonacci line here, which is, that would be another decent trade. If I waited for it to drop and then got into a long, that would be one more really good trade. Pretty sure it's going to happen. So this is why I decided to make one more trade and try to do it at a really good place. It did actually get up to that Fibonacci line already. So that was unfortunate. It dropped, but then you can see these big candles. That is like, it kept jumping all over the screen. And so the best place to get in then is to put in an order down at at the SMA or the bottom of the candles, or someplace where you think it's probably going to drop to, and then get in at that point instead of trying to put it where it is right now and get in. That's often what I will do. So I put in my order down here at the bottom of the candles, but then it jumped up here and kept going higher. So I raised up my limit to now the SMA. It is lower than where it is. And you can see the MACD might drop and might drop further. We don't know. So it did drop down to that point, and I'm in a long right now. It did drop down to the next SMA, which wasn't super far down below. I mean, that's like $50, something like that. All right, and then it immediately popped back up. And now I'm in the green on this trade by a good amount. And I can see, if I really wanted to be greedy, I would put it way up here at the top of the channel, which would be, around 603. So that would be like, I don't know, $400 or $500 trade. But don't really want to be greedy. Don't want to do that. I put in my order at the highest that it had been. Pretty sure it was going to hit that and get out. And so I just left that. I didn't have a stop in place or anything. It zipped up there and executed my order and then immediately dropped back down. So that was a really good call. And that was my 5th trade. And I've made just over $400. So about, 36 in commissions. And I'm definitely going to call it quits there. So it's $9.49. And I made 5 trades. Only one of them was bad.